for Tuesday, September 21st. Everybody, please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Yetsey,
Here.
Mrs. McCarthy.
Here.
Mrs. Saxon,
Here.
Mrs. Tamira,
Here.
Mr. Vaca.
Here. Finalization of the agenda. Is there anything to add in or delete?
The agenda is final as presented.
Thank you. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the written summary of the special and regular minutes for the meetings on August 3rd, 2021 and August 17th, 2021.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Tamira, second by Ms. Saxon. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Tamira,
Yes.
Mrs. Saxon,
Yes.
Mrs. Yetsey.
Yes.
Mrs. McCarthy,
Yes.
Mr. Vaca.
Yes. Move into the superintendent's report.
Awesome. So we are back in full swing of things and excited to bring back some live building presentations. And we are starting this evening with Mrs. Andrea Vance from ECLC.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to just say I'm so happy to be back in person in our buildings. It's so lovely to hear all of our little kiddos that have returned. This evening, I'm very honored tonight to show you how we have been implementing our newly adopted Character Strong curriculum and then aligning it with our PBIS and Ranger Strong goals. As many of you know, the Character Strong is a pre-K-12 social, emotional, and character development curriculum that focuses on fostering the whole child. And it's a curriculum that's aligned with that character piece side by side. We'll be implementing this within our school week and intervention time. The other days we'll be focusing on some of those academic needs for our students in our building. This year, more than ever, it is critical for our students to learn and develop and understand the importance of what it means to be courageous, respectful, kind, honest. Well, now I must say, my 3 to 5-year-old students don't have any issues with being honest, as they can be my best and worst critics. As example of today with my outfit choice, they like that, but not so much the curly hair. So I'm going to work on that. But I would like to take this opportunity to thank Gretchen Hersberger, who is one of our Title I teachers at our preschool and kindergarten building, who did a phenomenal job at capturing a day in the life of some of our preschool and kindergarten students and sharing our vision with you today. So if you want to just take a look at the screen, we'll share what we've been working on this far. So if you haven't noticed from the video, if you haven't noticed from the video, Brewster is although we're the Rangers, Brewster is our mascot at our building and our therapy dog. And so we kind of went with that theme of being positively Ranger strong and implementing a lot of those character strong attributes. So students who are displaying those attributes throughout the day, wherever they are in the building, receive Ranger paws, and they're able to put those up in the classroom. And if you saw on the screen, the dog bowls that were listed for each of the classrooms, they'll add dog bones, and the class who has the most dog bones receives a reward monthly. The rewards, I thought the best one was being principal for a day, but apparently the kids really like reading with Brewster, so they want up me again. So at this point, I'm fine with that, but there are different incentives that they can receive each month. So we're really excited to be moving forward with that, and the kids are excited as well. So any questions?
Just a comment, my granddaughter is absolutely in love with kindergarten. She came home excited about her Brewster paw that she got today. So now I have a better idea what a Brewster paw is. I love school so much that 3-day weekend, she wanted me to do something about it. She wasn't thrilled about missing school for 3 days. So seeing those pictures reinforces why she loves kindergarten so much and is having so much fun this school year.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Williams. Next, I will turn it over to Mr. Cassini, who has an introduction for the board.
Good evening. Hope everyone can't hear.
No.
I can try to talk loud. And
Please, it's our new scholar.
okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, good evening. I hope everybody's doing well. Just very happy to introduce Yanni Talekos to North Ridgeville City Schools as the new coordinator of fiscal services. Yanni brings great experience to the district. He currently works for the city of Stowe. He's coming to us from the city of Stowe, where he is the tax administrator. Yanni has also served as director of finance for the city of Camel, and he spent several years with the auditor of state, where he was one of 14 selected to work in the special audit division there. I'm very excited to welcome Yanni to the team and to the Ranger family. I think that he is going to be a great asset to us in furthering the mission and vision of the district, specifically from a financial standpoint. With that, I'd like to welcome Yanni to address the board and say a few words.
Thank you, Michael. Hi, everyone. Good evening. First, I want to say a big thank you to the members of the board for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this wonderful school district. I'm so excited to be a part of Michael's team, where I know I can make a big difference and help Michael make an even bigger one. I know he is, and he will. Again, thank you so much for letting me be a part of this, and really looking forward to working with everyone in the near future. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, here's an opportunity for hearing of the public. This is an opportunity for members of the public to address the Board of Education regarding items of interest. Questions you may have and or any requested follow-up information will be directed to the most appropriate administrator. Follow-up will occur after the board meeting. If you have comments for the Board of Education, please stand up and provide your name and address. Your comments are limited to 3 minutes with a total of 30 minutes that are allowed for this portion of the board meeting. For further guidance on public participation, please reference Board Policy 0169.1. If you have questions, we will note them, and the most appropriate person to answer your question will get back to you in a reasonable time frame. So as you come to the podium, please state your name and your connection to the school, and if you could sign in, I would greatly appreciate it. Yeah, come up to the podium.
Jim Sturmel. I have a couple kids go through Ridgeville school systems. I'm very pleased. Got the school of their choice. What I'm saying now, I talked to Mr. Herb out of the Board of Ed this summer. He assured me you weren't teaching critical race theory. I have a whole pamphlet that he gave me. And it's about biases, justice, social justice. It's SEL is part of the critical race theory, along with comprehensive sex education. Now, I haven't heard that mentioned, so I imagine it's coming. And my question is, how this chart alone has a power wheel. If you're white, if you're male, if you're a citizen, it spells it out here. If you're slim, if you're rich, you all have privileges over other people. My children went through school here and they made it through on their own. And I don't think they had privileges. They worked hard, got to be where they wanted to be. One was a nurse. She's now at home with her children. The other one is a civil engineer. They weren't taught, they didn't learn about anger and all this SEL stuff. And I guess I just need some clarification on what North Ridgeville City Schools is doing. And I know the CTI, the critical race theory, is not part of the state curriculum. I know there's a meeting tomorrow in Columbus. There's only 3 states in this country that has critical race theory part of their education. And I would like someone to explain this to me. And I want a straight answer. I don't want a bunch of, excuse me, BS. So my phone number, it's,
You can sign in on the thing, but you don't have to give it publicly to
Yeah,
everybody.
because these are public meetings that are going out on the air. so
it's public,
It is.
okay. I would like some answers. No, I don't have children anymore, but I'm a taxpayer. And right now I'm quite concerned about where this world's going. And you're probably lucky I don't have kids in this school, because I'd really be pushing the issue. Okay? So, Thank you.
Can you make sure you write down your phone number? Because we absolutely will follow up with you. I just didn't want you to cite your phone number out loud for a public meeting that's going out live as we speak.
microphones would help too. Okay, because I heard the teacher say SEL, but I didn't hear anything else. So I really think you need that to project the information we're here tonight to hear. Okay, and then over the band outside too, President. Thank you.
So we'll have to take a look at that in the future, make sure that everybody can hear us. However we have to go about that. Thank you. Is there anybody else this evening that would like to address the Board of Education? Okay, seeing further, I skipped announcements, so I will back up. Is there any announcements this evening?
Mr. Rocca, I would just like to thank the school district on behalf of the Lions Club of North Ridgeville for participating in the food drive that that club is coordinating. And just tell people there's an opportunity to donate through the schools. There's also an opportunity to donate at community care on Saturday, the 25th from 10 to 2.
The Leo Club and the Key Club have been doing quite a bit.
Yes, yes, they have. Yeah, absolutely. All the schools have been very important with that project.
Ma'am, I'm gonna read some stuff off our agenda. At any point you can't hear me, just give me a wave and I'll try to. Okay, exactly.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the consent agenda resolution as presented. And make them. Moved by Ms. McCarthy,
Second.
moved by Ms. McCarthy, seconded by Ms. Tamira. Roll call, please.
Mrs. McCarthy,
Yes.
Mrs. Tamira,
Yes.
Mrs. Yancey,
Yes.
Mrs. Saxon,
Yes,
Mr. Vaca,
Yes. Move on to the finance audit report, Ms. McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. Baca. We have 3 items for our consideration tonight under the finance audit report. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the finance reports for August 2021. And we also have a resolution for the fiscal year 2022 permanent appropriation. And finally, we have a resolution to amend the certification of estimated resources. I move to approve the finance audit items in one reading.
Second. Moved by Ms. McCarthy, seconded by myself. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. McCarthy,
Yes.
Mr. Vaca,
Yes.
Mrs. Yancey,
Yes.
Mrs. Saxon,
yes,
Mrs. Tamira.
Yes.
We'll move on to the buildings and operations report. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the change order to Icon Construction Solutions LLC in the amounts of $15,437.98 for new trim for modified projector boards and recalibration of the projectors at the North Ridgeville Academic Center. I move to approve the building and operations report in one reading.
Second.
Moved by myself, second by Ms. Tamira. Roll call, please.
I have a question.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Mr. Rocca. Can you remind us, Mr. Younger, how many projection boards we're recalibrating and trimming out?
There were approximately 137 done throughout this building.
Okay. And then can you also tell us, is this complete our change orders for this project to your best of your knowledge?
To the best of my knowledge, it does.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Vaca,
Yes.
Mrs. Tamira,
Yes.
Mrs. Yetsey,
Yes.
Mrs. Saxon,
Yes.
Mrs. McCarthy.
Yes,
Human Resources Report, Ms. Yetsey.
Thank you. We have 14 items in the human resources report. We have 4 support staff resignations, 1 supplemental contract resignation, 1 administrative contract, 2 special project supplementals, 1 leave replacement healthcare associate appointment, 8 hourly tutor appointments, 2 NREA supplemental appointments, 1 non-NREA supplemental contract, 3 support staff appointments, 1 support staff leave replacement appointment, 1 unpaid volunteer recognition, 9 certified staff adjustments, 1 support staff adjustment, and 1 supplemental contract adjustment. I move to approve the human resources items in one reading. Second.
Moved by Ms. Yetsey, second by Ms. Tamira. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Yetsey,
Yes.
Mrs. Tamira,
Yes.
Mrs. McCarthy,
yes,
Mrs. Saxon,
Abstain.
Mr. Vaca.
Yes. All right. Sitting here tonight, it's hard to stay focused on tonight's meeting and the agenda. The school district and the school board has been dealing with issue after issue after issue in regards to this pandemic. And everybody that's sitting here at this table, as well as that front row there, the commitment has and will remain the same to the well-being of the kids of this district, trying to keep them in school 5 days a week for in-person instruction. But the general public's not aware of, and what's so frustrating and so hard for me to sit here, is you don't have any idea the threats that have been levied against us as individuals and administrators. And people have come here very respectfully, as you did this evening, ma'am, and we encourage that. We encourage people to participate. We encourage people to reach out. We encourage people to solicit information about anything they're concerned about. And we will always address those issues, regardless of whether or not we see eye to eye. But I'm sitting here fumbling through this meeting, trying not to be angry. And it's become very difficult knowing the emails we've received and knowing how this is playing out. It's very polarizing, and we understand that, and we understand the passion on all sides of these issues. But we have one focus in mind and one commitment that you can count on from this Board of Education and this administrative team and the teachers and the 600 plus employees in this school district, that your kids are well taken care of. They will be educated. They will be given the tools to think things through critically on their own behalf, regardless of the polarization in this country currently. We've been dealing with it for 18 months. Pandemics don't come and go. This is the first one we've addressed, and with little or no guidance from our government. And our government's responsible for a lot of the polarization. And all we're doing is navigating this situation with your kids' interests at mind. And I came here this evening not knowing if I was going to say anything. This is coming from Frank Baca, the grandfather who's got kids in this school district, the father that had 4 boys go through these schools. I love this community. I love this district. I'm not speaking on behalf of the Board of Education because I don't have that right. But as we sit here, knowing the emails we've received and the condemnation we've received for every single decision we've made in the last 18 months, it's got to stop. I keep hearing about your kids. We're responsible for over 4,700 kids that we care about deeply. And then I'm responsible for a kindergartner that loves school. So we need to figure out a way to get through this together and recognize those facts, because the threats, the condemnation, the assumptions that are being made benefit nobody. They do not benefit this community. They do not benefit our children. They do not benefit us as individuals. We're all the same people we were 18 months ago before this pandemic. We need to set politics aside and start being the Americans first. I'm not talking the political Americans. I'm talking the people that are proud to be sitting here together in this room in spite of their differences. So I'm asking, I'm begging, as we move forward, that we recognize that these kids are what matters. And they're watching us as adults. And quite frankly, as adults, there's so many of us that should be embarrassed in what we're doing in front of our children. And you can call it grandstanding, you can call whatever I'm doing right now what you want. But for 14 plus years, I've been involved with these schools. And I'm proud to say that the decisions we've made have always centered on your children. And for whatever time I have left, and whatever time you choose to keep me as a board member, is your prerogative. But the 2 years I have left, know that you have a commitment from me that these kids are our first priority, and everything else takes a back seat to that. So I apologize for you having to sit here and listen to this, but it's overwhelming at this point, and it's quite frankly getting more and more difficult to navigate without anger rising, and I don't want to be that person. So thank you. Thank you for coming here respectfully and sharing your viewpoint. We will get back together with you and answer any questions you have. Sorry, that's all I got to say.
Apologize. Please don't apologize. Thank you.
As recommended, the Board of Education enter into executive session for review and negotiations with public employees concerning their compensation and other terms of conditions of employment. There will be no action to follow.
No, second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Tamira,
Yes.
Mrs. Yetsey,
Yes.
Mrs. McCarthy,
Yes.
Mrs. Saxon,
Yes.
Mr. Vaca.
Yes. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.